What's up, guys? Welcome to the Go Make That Money show, the weekly show where I talk about a business idea that you can use to make money online from the comforts of your very own home. In this week's show, we are going to talk about making money online by managing social media accounts. This actually ties in very closely to one of our past shows where we talk about becoming a virtual assistant. This is more specifically almost being like a social media virtual assistant. So in this episode, we're going to talk all about the skills you need, how to do it, how to find clients, how to get paid by managing other people's social media. So let's jump in right to it. Why should you become a social media virtual assistant? Becoming a social media virtual assistant is something that is very simple and easy that almost anyone can do, and it's something that a lot of people are looking for. So that's what makes it such a great idea or a great way to make money online from home. So what is a social media virtual assistant? It's essentially someone who manages a person's or business's social media accounts on their behalf. This would be the core of social media accounts, which I like to think of as Facebook, Instagram, Pinterest, Twitter, and possibly Snapchat. These core social media accounts are things that you can manage on someone else's behalf. The most popular social media accounts for VA work would probably be Pinterest and Instagram. There are a lot of businesses looking for people to manage Pinterest and Instagram accounts because in order to be successful on those platforms, it can require a lot of manual labor, meaning you need a lot of personal time on the platform. And there's a lot of business owners who simply don't have the time and they don't have the means to necessarily hire a full-time employee and pay them a salary to manage an Instagram account, for example. So they'd rather pay someone limited time, limited hours every day as a virtual assistant to do some sort of tasks on Instagram and Pinterest. But this also applies to the other platforms, and we'll talk a little bit about those later in this show. What are some of the skills you need to manage social media accounts? Well, obviously you need to know how to use the social media platforms that you're gonna be working on. If you don't personally use Instagram and have an Instagram account, you're gonna have a really hard time managing someone else's Instagram account. The same goes for Twitter or Pinterest or Facebook. If you're not familiar personally with these platforms, you're gonna have a really hard time helping someone else on these platforms. Let's talk about really quickly, I wanna talk about 4 of the social media platforms and what you would do, kind of, I guess, how you could go about managing these different platforms as a social media virtual assistant. Maybe some of the tasks that businesses would ask you to do on their behalf on each of these platforms. How to manage Instagram. Instagram is probably the most popular social media platform today among the demographic of 20 to 40 years old. It's a photo and video posting platform, as I'm sure you're well aware. And some of the tasks that businesses are looking for on this platform is to post content on their behalf. If you do have photography skills, and maybe depending on the type of account, they might have you take photos or edit and post videos on their behalf. But a lot of times these companies will, or businesses will send you the product photos. They'll send you the content, the photos that they get from a photographer, and you'll be in charge of managing them. So what does that mean? That means you'll have to go on at, peak times of day and post the photo or video. It means you'll have to write the description. And it doesn't just mean, coming up with some and it's not like saying, wow, look at this t-shirt that's on this guy. Cool, like it if you like it. It's gonna mean, coming up with a good in-depth description that draws attention, that creates engagement. This is a talent and skill that you need to require. Coming up with captions that drive engagement, because that's gonna get them more followers, it's gonna get them more traffic to their website. You're also probably gonna have to do some engaging. This is a really big factor of Instagram. They like to see engagement. You're going to need to answer comments, respond to comments, respond to DMs, reach out to people, comment on other people's photos. These are all manual tasks that can help someone grow their Instagram account. So there's a lot of people looking for people to do that. They're looking for people who can spend an hour or two a day commenting on other people's photos that relate, business development with other accounts, looking for collaboration opportunities, basically doing everything they can to grow their Instagram account and increase their engagement. How to manage a Facebook page. Facebook is a tricky animal for business owners these days. With the changes to the Facebook algorithm, building an organic Facebook page is very, very difficult. And getting that Facebook organic reach on a Facebook page is also very difficult. A lot of the tasks that comes with Facebook would be very similar to Instagram in that you would respond to messages through a Facebook page. Let me show you really quickly what this would look like on as an example on my Facebook page. So if you were being, a virtual assistant for me, and you were doing my Learn How Facebook page, there's like a message button so people could send you messages. You'd respond to those messages. If people left comments on posts on my Facebook page, you would respond to those comments. You would answer those questions. You would possibly even schedule the post. You would write the description for the post. You would manage other sorts of giveaways and things on the post. If you have skills in Facebook advertising, that would be a huge plus to getting a job as a social media manager for Facebook. That's something that is, almost guaranteed or needed at this point to have success on Facebook, is by doing paid advertising for a Facebook page. But something else that people are looking for, it's not as easy to find a position like this, but it's someone to be an admin of a group. A lot of businesses are getting smart with Facebook and realizing that Facebook groups are almost more beneficial nowadays than Facebook pages. So they're creating Facebook groups, but they need an admin to manage the group, an admin to manage posts, to manage new members, to answer questions. So that's a position that you could definitely look for, is being an admin of a Facebook group on someone else's behalf. How to manage Pinterest. Pinterest virtual assistants are becoming very popular these days as there's an added emphasis on manual pinning. So let me jump over to Pinterest really quick and I'll talk about what that would entail. Some of the tasks that would be involved with being a virtual assistant for Pinterest could be creating pins themselves. So if you have skills with Photoshop and you're able to, create pins like these in Photoshop or whatever photo editor you want to use, that is a very valuable skill that you can market to businesses. Hey, I can create pins for you. I can link these pins to your blog articles or to your website. That's something that a lot of people on Pinterest are looking for, especially businesses. The other thing that you would do is you would manually pin. So when a new pin comes out, you would pin it to all your boards. So you would add the pin to, all your boards. You would add the pin to group boards that you're a member of. So you can see down here, these are a lot of my group boards that I'm a member of. You would look for new boards to join. You would create new boards. You would manage opportunities on Pinterest. You would possibly use Tailwind. Tailwind is a Pinterest scheduler. So you could manage, Tailwind tribes. You could manage scheduling pins on Tailwind. There's a lot of people willing to pay for help with Pinterest. So if you're comfortable with Pinterest, you know how to use Tailwind, I'd recommend learning those, and then you can market those skills to business owners who are looking to improve their Pinterest presence. Pinterest, in my opinion, is the #1 social media site for driving traffic to a blog. So for bloggers out there, companies who blog heavily, and they are not using Pinterest to their full extent, that is a way to reach out to them to say, hey, Pinterest can really drive a lot of traffic to your website. I notice you could use a little bit of help. I'm a Pinterest virtual assistant. This is what I can do, and you can start to pitch yourself. We're gonna talk a little bit more about how to pitch yourself a little bit later in this show. Let's talk about the last social media management I wanted to talk about. I want to talk about Twitter. Twitter is like the water cooler of social media platforms. It's a place where people kind of go to vent their frustrations, talk about their political views. Like I said, it's like a water cooler. People like to throw out things. It's very commonly used in live sports because people like to give their feedback on what's happening in real time. It's a popular source of real-time news. So if there's a tragedy of some type, or there's breaking news coming out. People will go on there and comment and share and retweet. So it's a very news heavy and opinionated platform. So for building so for building Twitter as a business, it can be very difficult. You're gonna need to spend a lot of time engaging, driving conversation, because that's what Twitter is. It's very conversational. So it's something that can be really difficult to automate. It's really hard to automate Twitter. You really just have to have your hands in there and just be really engaging with the community that you're building around your business. So if you do have a lot of time to, throughout the day, check notifications, drive a conversation, respond to comments, comment on other people who are talking about a similar subject, and try to drive a conversation on someone else's conversation as the business, that really helps people grow their Twitter presence. Some of the best Twitter accounts for businesses today are fast food restaurants. Go check out Wendy's, Burger King, Taco Bell. Some of those fast food restaurants have huge and very successful Twitter accounts. You can kind of see what they're doing, how their manager is managing and driving conversation on Twitter. Now I want to talk about some tools, software that you could use as a social media manager to help facilitate this process. You could use this for multiple people. So if you're managing multiple social media accounts, this can help you stay organized, stay on track. The first tool I want to talk about is Buffer. Buffer was one of the first scheduling tools for social media platforms. They're still one of the best and most popular platforms today, but they are one of the more expensive platforms. So there are some starter plans you can see that are kind of cheap, but you're essentially going to need the business plan of $99 a month if you want to be real serious about posting and scheduling all your posts with Buffer. The main benefit with using Buffer is that it allows you to schedule videos and photos to Instagram. That of course is with the small business plan. But they do allow scheduling on all sorts of platforms. It's probably the best for Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. There's another tool that works really well for Pinterest called Tailwind, which I talk about in other videos, but it's really good and it's a lot cheaper and it's more focused specifically on Pinterest. So that's a tool I definitely recommend you checking out. I'm gonna put links for these tools below this video. I'm not an affiliate for all these tools and software. I'm just giving you some information on what's out there so you can go explore and see which works best for you, that you're comfortable with your business. Some of the features of Buffer are, like I said, you can schedule publish posts, so they'll publish on your behalf. You can do reply. They can automatically reply for you on Twitter, on Facebook, on Instagram. So there's a lot of tools here with Buffer that you can use. I don't personally use Buffer, but I know it is a very popular platform for social media management. Another tool I wanted to mention is called Iconosquare. Iconosquare is an analytical program or software that's used for Instagram. What you can do with Iconosquare is you can do a lot of analytical research. So you can research other Instagram accounts. You can research what type of posts are working well, the best time to post, the best days to post, what kind of posts are getting you the most likes, what kind of posts are getting you the most comments. So it's a way to it's kind of an analytical tool that helps you analyze what's happening with your Instagram accounts a lot better. So here's the pricing for that. You can get, let's see here, 5 social profiles with this advanced plan and multiple team members. It does work. It looks like you can use Facebook now with it, but like I said, it's mainly for Instagram, analyzing hashtags, analyzing other competitors. It's a really nice software. I actually used it for a while on one of my older businesses back in the past to do some Instagram growth hacking, and I definitely do recommend it if you are serious about Instagram. So if you want to be like an Instagram VA specifically, I'd recommend learning Iconosquare and using it for the businesses you manage to show them how they're doing, what kind of content they need to be producing, and what's working for them. The next tool is called Hootsuite. This is a tool or software that is very popular for Twitter. So if you are wanting to, schedule tweets, it also works for all the other social platforms, but Twitter was kind of one of the first main social media platforms that Hootsuite was built for. So they help you manage your Twitter accounts, manage posts, schedule tweets, because Twitter is different than Facebook and Instagram. You're not posting, maybe like once or twice a day. You're posting once or twice an hour on Twitter. So it's a lot more time constraining to be effective on Twitter. So a scheduling platform like Hootsuite helps you to manage your Twitter account or automate your Twitter account a lot better. I do not recommend, though, however, automating a lot of human-to-human interaction. If you want to automate like, a blog post or a photo post or something like that, that's great. But if you're replying to people or spiking conversation or engaging in a conversation, I wouldn't recommend doing automatic replies or things. I would personally be in the content on the platform personally as a human replying, something that I haven't done very well with my Twitter. I've kind of neglected it as far as a business goes. But I'm working to see how I can improve that. But if you do want to manage Twitter accounts, Hootsuite is great for scheduling, and human-to-human interaction is great for, really boosting engagement and increasing your following on Twitter. The last app or software I want to show you is called Social Bee. This is the software that I personally use for scheduling and managing automated posting on social media. Now, I do not use it for Instagram. I do everything on Instagram manually, but I do all of my Facebook automated posting. So when I post to a Facebook group of mine or a Facebook page, it is all run and automated through Social Bee. Because I have Social Bee, I can show you just a little bit more about how it works. So you can set schedules for different accounts. So I could set a schedule for a Facebook page. So Monday, Wednesday, Friday, I'm posting articles from my blog automatically. Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday, I'm posting to my Facebook group. And you can also schedule to Twitter. So I schedule my blog articles to Twitter through Social Bee as well. There's different types of categories and content you can do. I've really simplified my Social Bee recently. I'm looking to see how I can improve it, but you can create different types of categories. So you could create a category for like promotions, a category called quotes, a category called funny, an RSS feed to your blog. So this automatically updates with my new blog posts. They automatically get scheduled, so I don't have to worry about scheduling anything. Whenever a blog post comes out, it's automatically scheduled to those platforms, so I don't have to worry about it. But it's a really nice platform. The nice thing about it is that it's very affordable. So you're not going to spend, $99, $100 a month to use this software. So you can see here profiles. You can add a bunch of different profiles for Twitter, Facebook. So I could have multiple Facebook pages, multiple Facebook groups, multiple Twitter accounts. I can have up to 10 on my current account, which is really nice. So yeah, Social Bee, guys, if you want to check it out, it's an app that I would recommend if you want to just like schedule blog posts, or like I said, you want to pre-type out all of like quotes or questions or things and have them scheduled to go out on certain days. This app really works well for that, for scheduling like those different types of categories. Let's talk about what types of accounts to target as a virtual assistant for social media. This means like, who are you going to reach out to find work as a social media manager? Let's start with Instagram. A lot of businesses are looking for virtual assistants for Instagram. If you're going after a huge company, they probably have an inside team managing their Instagram account. So you're not gonna have a whole lot of luck reaching out to like Coca-Cola or Nike or big brands like that saying, hey, I wanna manage your Instagram. They probably have 50 people in-house managing just their Instagram accounts. So something that I recommend looking for is looking for local businesses. I know we always talk about working from home, but you still are working from home. But to acquire a client, I would highly recommend going out in person and pitching yourself to local businesses. So you can search on Instagram or Facebook by location, search your city, search a geotag, and find people within your community that have Instagram accounts. So once you find those Instagram accounts, go make a huge list of them and look at every single one. If you see an Instagram account for a business that's local and they have 300,000 followers, their pictures look amazing and they're getting 20,000 likes on every photo, they probably have someone managing their Instagram account or they're already on top of it. If you find a local business, you go to their Instagram, they have 5 photos, 350 followers, and they haven't posted in 6 months, that is a great person to reach out to. find their business, find where they're located, go there, go with your phone and say, hey, I was actually looking at Instagram. I stumbled upon your Instagram. Didn't know you guys even had an Instagram. They'll probably say something like, yeah, I know, we haven't posted on it in 6 months. Say, yeah, I want to talk to you about that. I actually manage social media accounts and I help people, increase their following because I know how important Instagram is to businesses, especially local businesses. I was wondering if, I could help you guys out for free for a couple weeks to show you what I'm capable of doing to help your Instagram growth. And they'll probably come back at you saying something like, oh, we can't afford it. We don't have money for that, blah, blah, blah. But if you tell them, hey, I'd be willing to do this for super cheap. I'd be willing to do this for free starting out. As soon as you provide value, you can always increase your rates afterwards. That's something that I like to tell people who are just getting started. If you have no clients, don't be afraid to ride the free train for a little while and slowly work your way up. You need to prove your value to people before you go out there and charge, $50 a day to manage someone's Instagram account. The same thing applies with Facebook, with Twitter. Look for small local businesses that aren't doing very well. They're not posting frequently. They haven't posted in a while. They don't have a whole lot of followers. Their content isn't very good. These are the types of people that you should reach out to starting locally because people are gonna have a more friendly connection if they know, like, hey, we're from the same city. We went to the same high school. Hey, I know your cousin Billy, stuff like that really helps go a long way to build a connection and build that trust when you're first trying to get clients. And then as you have some clients, it's a lot easier to reach outside of the box. If you want to go out of state, it's a simple DM. Hey, I manage this person, this person, this person. You can check out their accounts, see what I did to help them. I'm looking for more clients. I'm looking for a new client, stuff like that. As far as Pinterest account goes, Pinterest might be a little bit more difficult to find as far as like local businesses, but I'd recommend, reaching out to people who maybe are having a blog, starting a blog, local businesses who are blogging that aren't using Pinterest. There's a lot of people who don't even have Pinterest. So you might have a hard time searching for them on Pinterest because you're not gonna find them on Pinterest. So what you might have to do is search for them on Instagram, go to their website and stuff, try to find their social media links and find out if they even have a Pinterest. If they don't have a Pinterest at all, then that's a perfect opportunity for you to jump in and say, hey, I saw you on Instagram. I noticed you don't have a Pinterest. Did you guys know this, this, and this? Put together, a write-up about how Pinterest can grow your business, increase traffic, and then you can, pitch yourself as a Pinterest VA and show them what you can do on the Pinterest side of things. So Pinterest is a little bit trickier because not everyone has a Pinterest, but a lot of, especially male-oriented businesses, men don't really know how to use Pinterest or they think it's not for them. They think it's just for, mommy bloggers. But Pinterest can be very effective for any type of business. So try to find out, if they even have a Pinterest presence and maybe pitch them on the idea of starting a Pinterest. How to price yourself as a social media account manager. Like I said, the first thing I definitely recommend doing if you're starting this from scratch, if you want to go out there and see how you do, is ride the free train. Try to do it for free for a week, for 2 weeks. If you can sacrifice for a month, try to do it for a month. Prove your worth to someone. Why would anyone pay you if you can't provide the results that you promise? So if you go out there and work for someone for free for a month and you can't grow their account, you can't increase their engagement, why would they pay you anyway? So if you can prove your worth over time, then you will be able to bill yourself, I guess, as a virtual assistant. And then you can just bill yourself hourly. You can come up with a contract to bill yourself like per post. Like if you're creating Pinterest pins, you could bill yourself per pin. So you could charge, $2 per pin. And then I charge $15 an hour of managing, or I charge $20 a week retainer. And then this is what I do during the week. There's different ways you can structure this, but I would definitely think about or consider trying to go out and get accounts or get clients for free starting out just to get your feet wet. And that way, if you go out there for free and say, hey, let me just manage it for free for a couple weeks and let me see what I can do to help you out. And that way, if you flop and you don't do well, it's not gonna hurt you. They didn't pay you anything. They're not gonna get mad at you. They're just gonna say, oh, well, thanks, but I think we're gonna go in a different direction. You say, you know what, sounds good. Thanks for your time. And you go to someone else. And you just learn this way. it might take you a few months to try to actually figure out how to grow someone's Instagram account or business. But when you do these free ways or get these free clients, you gotta spend 2 weeks, learn for free, make mistakes, and learn from it and try the next client and try the next client. And then once you start to figure it out, then you're gonna have a lot easier time getting results, which is going to equal higher pay. How many accounts should you manage? This all depends, I guess, on what your goals are. How big is the company that you're working with? What's their budget? How much time can they afford to pay you? If someone can only afford to pay you an hour a day, then you could probably go out there and grab a few more clients. If someone wants to pay you for 5 hours a day, you probably want to stick to one client. I'd also recommend if you're gonna be doing one client but all their social media, it might be beneficial just to stick to one client. But if you're gonna say, I'm just doing Instagram, maybe you can handle a few Instagram accounts. Maybe you can handle 3 or 4 or 5 Instagram accounts because you're just focusing on Instagram. So I think that's something else that's also important is if you wanna do all social media for one business or do one social media for multiple businesses. All right, guys, if you have any more questions for me about how to make money online managing social media accounts, leave a comment below this video for me. I'd love to hear from you, even if it's just to get your feedback on how you liked this week's show. I wanna give a comment shout out to Rashna. Rashna, thank you so much for leaving a comment on one of my videos. I really do appreciate it. If you do like this video, hit that thumbs up, make sure you're subscribed so you can see next week's show where I talk about another business idea that you can do to make money from home. This is great for anyone, someone going to school, teenagers in high school, kids in college, stay-at-home moms, dads who want to do something in the evenings. There's all sorts of ideas here for you. Every week we're talking about a new idea that you can use to make extra money from home or potentially replace your full-time job that I know you probably hate. All right, guys, I'm Andy. You're watching Learn How. We'll see you in the next episode.